Hello and welcome to a new video presented by Teleskop-Service, and in this video it's all about the TSMPT60, this little multi-purpose telescope. So why multi-purpose? I will talk you through some of the features of this telescope and for what usage it is intended. So first of all, it is pretty good machined, everything really nicely done, nice coating here, all in red. Perfect match to the ZWO, for example, for some cameras. So from the optical viewpoint, fantastic little scope. So, and as you see, it is already configured with ring clamps, adjustable ring clamps, and a finder shoe. That means finder dovetail. That means the main purpose is to use it as a finder scope, but in this case a high quality finder scope. And there you have two options. The first option is to use it as an angled viewfinder, for example Newtonian telescopes. Therefore you have to use a zenith mirror and a crosshair eyepiece. Best way is to use an illuminated crosshair eyepiece, and you just put this in the back of this helical focuser here. The advantage of this helical focuser is when you focus the system, the eyepiece is not rotating, and this focuser gives you roughly 1.5 centimeter of travel range, so more than enough to fine focus this system, and it is really fine, it's very precise. If you want to use it with a refractor or Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, then most likely you want to have a straight viewfinder without this zenith mirror. Therefore you can also put the eyepiece directly in that focuser, but then you have the issue that you can't reach focus in this configuration. Therefore an extension tube is integrated here in the back of the telescope. By loosening this screw and maybe these 3 additional screws here, you can pull out this extension tube to bring it into focus again. Maybe roughly around here, then just slightly lock this screw that this tube is not moving anymore, and then you still have your helical focuser to fine focus, that everything is pinpoint and sharp. Okay, and both of these configurations are also usable just as a normal optical telescope. So when replacing the crosshair eyepiece with a standard eyepiece, maybe also a zoom one like this here, you have a fantastic little travel scope. But this telescope is also usable for photography. You can do very simple travel photography with it. It is super lightweight, you can carry it with you. And there are also a couple of options. If you want to use it for photography, we always recommend to use a flattener, because otherwise the field of the telescope would be create artifacts in the corners. With this flattener you get rid of this and it creates a very, very sharp image. First we have to remove this helical focuser and screw in the flattener. So this flattener does not change the focal length, it is still f6, 360mm focal length, but as said with a really flat field. We advertise this telescope for cameras up to APS-C, but I did also checks with a full frame camera and it's working on a full frame camera, so I can also recommend this. Maybe you have to crop the corners a bit, but it is working pretty good. So now we have mounted the flattener, and this flattener ends with an M48 thread, so this is the standard thread for camera connections. Now depending on your equipment you can use it with a standard DSLR or DSLM camera or with a dedicated astronomy camera. With a standard DSLR camera like this one here, a Canon, you have to use a specific adapter. This is also called a T-ring, which has to end with an M48 thread, of course, and then you have to achieve 55 millimeters of working distance. This flattener needs 55 millimeters, and with the standard T-rings this distance is always given, because the body has 44 millimeter, the T-ring 11 gives 55 millimeters. Let's do it the simple way. So we mount the adapter here, and then it may end in a weird position like this, but you can easily change this by loosening this locking screw here and rotate the inner tube to the frame that you want, so you can align the framing properly. Then not forget to tighten this up again. And now you may see the first issue. Here's no focuser anymore, so you can't focus it here in the back. Therefore, the front lens is movable. So this front lens comes with a super long thread which goes into the primary tube here. This is maybe 5 centimeters long. And when you loosen this black lock ring here, you can turn the front lens. You can turn it in or out. And with this super fine adjustment, which is possible here, you can precisely adjust the focus. You just have to look through your viewfinder or on the display when it's sharpest. You can also use, of course, a Bartinov mask or use some software tools to find the perfect focus. And of course you can also do a rough focusing by just moving this extension tube in or out. So you left the front lens movement only to the fine focusing. And then when you have found the focus, just lock this black ring again, and then you're good to go. That's the whole setup. So as mentioned, this telescope provides a really good quality, especially with the flattener, so you can do also serious astrophotography with it. And therefore you can use a dedicated astronomy camera. That can be, as in this example, as I used it, a full frame camera, but also of course an APS-C camera, ASI 2600 for example, or the 533. All these cameras are working really properly on this telescope. Again, you have to achieve these 55 millimeters of working distance. So with ZWO and most other camera manufacturers, this is a pretty easy task. Most of them provide you the correct spacers to achieve 55 millimeters. If you have a different setup, you have to check it accordingly that everything fits. So with a dedicated astronomy camera or also with a DSLR, you can even improve the results when you use auto-guiding. Depending on your mount, auto-guiding is necessary to achieve the best results in terms of star shapes. So therefore, you can't mount a viewfinder, for example, here directly. You can use off-axis guiding here in the back. You can put in an off-axis guider. This is working, but maybe a bit over the edge for such a very simple setup here. So what we can do easily is to use an external guider with a guide scope. And therefore I want to suggest you our TSL kit. It's the so-called TSL kit. That consists of a CS lens, a simple mono camera, and this finder holder, this adjustable finder holder. So all these things together provide you a super compact, lightweight and also versatile auto guider. This camera lens has also some features. It has, of course, the focusing. This is the rear ring here, F mounted, marked F and N for far and near. We just turn it already into far position. Then we can choose the aperture. We always want open aperture here. And it has a zoom function, so you can adjust the focal length of the lens. We go to the full tele setting, that means 100 millimeter focal length. To mount this lens, you first have to remove these screws here. Remember, the short one is the first, and then there are two long ones. And then you're able to bring this lens and the camera into here. Oh, by the way, you need this little black adapter ring here, which comes with the camera. This ring has to be mounted here to provide you that CS threading that is common on these surveillance camera lenses. Then you can bring them both together here, screw it together. And then you should adjust it in a way that you, for example, lock the aperture ring. That is okay because we want this open aperture. You should not lock this focusing ring, and you still can move the zoom factor here if you. And we are locking also the camera just slightly, not too heavily. And then you can also bring back two of the screws, so then it's more easy to adjust these rings. And these screws are also acting as a lock screw. Okay, so spare this screw, and then we have our super little autogyroscope. That's pretty nice. And this camera, it's a Player One Series M, gives you high resolution, small pixels, and very low dark current, so a very clean image also for the guider, which is pretty nice. This camera is also, of course, usable for planetary photography if you want, and when you attach filters in front. And now the second part, because we don't have a finder show here, it is already a finder scope, so it would be a bit awkward to provide always this finder show on the telescope. We have to use an additional tool. And therefore we recommend the so-called guide mount. You find it in the shop under guide mount. This is just a dovetail. Here the big one is a GP level dovetail which comes onto your mount. And then you have three connections. First a finder shoe, second a photo thread, 1/4 inch photo thread which is movable, and an additional GP level clamp here for maybe another telescope or something like that. You can also remove this one if you don't need it. That gives you a bit more space here for this screw. Okay, I aligned it completely to the right, that we have enough space for our little finder scope which comes into this shoe. And then we have it. That's our complete photo rig. Also very small mounts like a EQ3 or maybe a star tracker can carry this telescope or this complete setup, so this should be no problem. There's one downside that I will also mention. It is with such a big camera, with such a full frame camera, it's very back heavy. That means you may get some issues with balancing. If this is a problem, you should add some weights here in any way you want to provide a better balancing. Okay, so this is all that I want to tell you about the TSMPT60. I hope you liked that little introduction. If you have any further questions or comments, feel free to drop a comment below the video or write us an email. So thank you very much for viewing and see you next time. Bye bye.